October 31st, 1984, 9:20 in the morning. India's Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, steps out of her bungalow at 1 Safdarjung Road. She's walking toward a television crew. Two of her own bodyguards open fire. 30 bullet wounds. She's dead within hours. The world called it a tragedy. India called it a betrayal. But here's what nobody told you in school. 3 foreign intelligence agencies, the CIA, the KGB, and British MI6, were all watching what was about to happen, and at least one of them helped set it in motion. Section 1. The CIA knew what was coming. In January 1983, nearly 2 full years before the assassination, the CIA produced a classified internal report titled India in the Mid-1980s, Goals and Challenges. It was a scenario planning document. What happens if Indira Gandhi dies suddenly? The CIA's answer was blunt. Rajiv Gandhi, her son, was politically immature. He had, quote, failed to excite either the party or the public. They assessed he might not even be the successor. This document wasn't written after the assassination. It was written before. The CIA had already wargamed her death. That report sat classified for decades. It was only released under America's Freedom of Information Act, the equivalent of India's RTI, and barely made headlines when it did. Section 2. The KGB Trap. But the CIA document is almost the least shocking part of this story. Here's where it gets darker. In the early 1980s, the KGB, Soviet Russia's intelligence agency, was running a systematic disinformation campaign against Indira Gandhi. They fed her fabricated intelligence reports, forged documents. The message was always the same. The CIA and Pakistan are secretly funding Sikh separatists in Punjab. America wants to break India apart. In 1982, Soviet leader Yuri Andropov personally approved an operation to forge Pakistani intelligence documents, fake ISI files showing detailed plans to create Khalistan with American backing. And Indira Gandhi believed it. Her son Rajiv Gandhi visited Moscow in 1983. The Soviets told him the same story. He came back to India and publicly declared CIA subversion in Punjab was real. Section 3. Operation Blue Star, built on a lie. Here's why that matters. When Indira Gandhi ordered the Indian Army into the Golden Temple in June 1984, Operation Blue Star, her decision was shaped in part by the belief that Bhindranwale and the Sikh militants were CIA and Pakistan proxies. The KGB had manufactured that belief. Indian analyst Subramanian Swamy said it directly in 1992. Blue Star became necessary because of the vast disinformation provided by the KGB. 5 months after Blue Star, her 2 Sikh bodyguards shot her dead, as revenge for the desecration of the Golden Temple. So the chain looks like this. KGB lies to Indira, believes a threat that was exaggerated to orders Blue Star, to Blue Star triggers her assassination. The Soviets didn't pull the trigger, but they helped create the conditions. Section 4. The British Connection. And then there's British intelligence. In 2014, the UK government was forced to declassify a set of documents after a whistleblower raised questions. What those documents revealed shocked India. In February 1984, 4 months before Blue Star, a British military advisor had quietly traveled to India. He conducted a ground-level reconnaissance of the Golden Temple complex in Amritsar with Indian operatives. He was there to advise Indian forces on how to carry out a commando operation inside the temple. The British Cabinet Secretary confirmed it. The UK had provided military advice. The advisor had even suggested a helicopter-borne approach with surprise, advice that was ignored in the final, brutal operation. Britain was officially involved in planning the operation that led directly to Indira Gandhi's assassination, and this was hidden for 30 years. Section 5. The Final Twist. After Indira Gandhi was killed, the KGB ran one more operation. They used their press networks inside India to push a different story. The CIA had orchestrated the assassination. The very agency they'd been falsely blaming for years, they now blamed for her death too. Some Indian newspapers carried these stories. Some politicians repeated them. The CIA, which had simply been monitoring and scenario planning, was now being accused of murder. The CIA declassified documents from this period show they were aware of the Soviet disinformation campaign. They knew what the KGB was doing. They watched it happen. Section 6. What does this actually mean? Here's what we know for certain, not speculation from declassified documents. 1. The CIA had assessed Indira Gandhi's assassination as a possible scenario 2 years before it happened. 2. The KGB ran a sophisticated operation to feed her false intelligence about CIA and Pakistani threats, influencing one of the biggest decisions of her life. 3. British military intelligence helped plan the operation that triggered the conditions for her killing. 4.